Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that's going to let you make one super easily. And then you can distribute it everywhere and even earn money doing this. All in one place. And it's free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters. Here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and even edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard.
Ever since we discovered Spotify for Podcasters, it's been really great. Really get the people involved and ask questions and get ideas for new podcasts. So it's really helped us. And I highly recommend you give it a try. So download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started.
If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you, sir?
Because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got. If you don't like what we tell you to believe in, we'll kill you.
All right, kids. Listen.
Don't listen to this.
If you're not of age.
What's of age?
Of age is like you can make your own decisions in life without parental guidance. 18
So 16?
18. We're not in Atlanta.
Georgia is 16.
We're not in Atlanta. That's what I said. We're not in Atlanta. This is 18 and up. Look,
Atlanta.
we're a bunch of dudes, and we're going to say some really bad words, and probably some things that might offend you. But
Don't listen to this.
can't wait till you listen.
Yeah, don't.
If
do
you're
it.
18 and up.
Don't do it.
If you're 18 and up.
Yeah.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sean.
This is Jorge.
What's up, guys? It's Eric.
We are back for part 2 of the Freemasons. Picking up right where we left off.
I thought a lot about this, the Freemasons.
Eric is the next candidate for Freemasonry.
I was
he
just,
wants in.
I was
Yeah,
just,
he does. He's
I was
ready.
like, it's cool. Anyways, we don't have to. We don't have to start off with that.
I was
but,
in fraternity in college, so I'm good.
and for those of you guys listening, we did take a little bit of time off in between 1 and 2, so that that's also what you're talking about. Like, you were thinking about it, and you even drove by one of these places.
Oh yeah. They're all over the place.
Eric's had a lot of windshield time.
Yeah, they're all over the place. But anyways, go ahead. Let's start.
Let's go ahead and get
start
started.
the episode. But keep in mind, if you have not listened to part 1, just don't even do this episode. So just go back.
Yeah, just go back.
Go back.
Do yourself a favor.
Part 1.
So I wanted to start this one off with this. It's a very large but still short list of people. So over the years, there's been a large number of famous Freemasons. Everyone's kind of speculated, ooh, the Freemasons. Oh,
So true.
I think it's also fueled kind of the conspiracy vibe. They're like, well, all these awesome people, Freemasons, and I'm not. It's conspiracy.
It's true. It's true.
So,
Real quick. Do you know? I don't know if you know, but do you know how many people are part of this?
I know, I don't know the exact number. I know as of, I think 2008 in the UK, there was, I think around 300,000
Wow.
Damn.
Okay.
in the UK.
In the UK.
Yeah.
I would think it's bigger over here, though. No?
Well, there's more people.
Right.
So, I mean, I think.
There's more people in general. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's like, we have like roughly
still, it started
370
over
million
there.
people. Yeah, it did start over there.
Yeah. It seems like the estimates is that it's 5+ million people on the planet.
I think
Wow.
so too.
Yeah.
And the UK, that includes Scotland and that includes the provinces of the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
But anyways, this list includes presidents, civil rights activists, artists, athletes, musicians. I mean, you name it, they're on there. And I just wanted to say this is not all of them. This is just
This is not all 5
This is
million.
not everyone. It's a small fraction, so just bear with me. I'm gonna go through this list. It may seem long, but in the grand scheme, it's short. So just listen. So we're gonna start off with George Washington,
Crazy.
Ben Franklin, Theodore Roosevelt, Franklin D. Roosevelt, both the motherfucking Roosevelts. Gerald Ford, Harry Truman. These are all presidents, by the way. I just named 6 presidents.
Crazy.
Who are Freemasons. I mean, that's a crazy. If only them were Freemasons, that's like
a conspiracy in itself.
dude, that's a 10% of the presidents.
If GW is a Mason, it might be worth looking into. Not George Bush, but
George Washington.
GW,
GW,
GW
Ridge.
Yeah, he's the original. Do you know what I mean? Like it might be like, hey, I'm gonna check it out.
What's the IQ requirement?
Yes. I wonder what he got to.
Oh, he's probably the czar of the Masons.
Right?
He's probably like King Dick of the Masons.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So then we move on to like obviously more influential people: Henry Ford, Walter Chrysler, Charles Hilton, Colonel Harlan Sanders. That's right, the KFC man himself.
Really?
Wow.
Dave Thomas, the Wendy's founder.
No way.
I know. No wonder
It's like half of fast food.
I know. It's literally half.
Yeah.
Where's Mr. Taco Bell and
Jose?
Jose Bell?
No, sorry. You got to do those jokes. I can't do those jokes. I can do the white jokes.
Don't worry, we're gonna cancel you real quick. Canceled.
Can you get canceled if you've never been?
If you're not there yet, guys, help us get there. Leave us a couple reviews.
It's like you know, if a tree falls in the wood and you don't hear it. Like if a guy gets canceled and not famous, does anyone care?
I'm gonna send out a press release. I was canceled. They're like, who the fuck is this guy?
It's got one view. And it's you. Anyways, we got
crazy.
Winston Churchill. Yeah, for you UK lads. We got J. Edgar Hoover, former director of the FBI.
Wow.
And then we start getting
wasn't sorry to stop you, but wasn't Hoover the top?
Hoover
made it
Hoover made it to the 33rd degree of the Scottish Rite, which is the highest level you can get. So did G Dubs.
Yeah.
And I think Ben Franklin as well.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's Eagle Scout.
It is Eagle Scout. I actually saw there's about
You know I was going to bring it up.
I think every year in the Scottish Rite, I think there's anywhere from 1 to 200 people who move up to that.
Oh, okay.
That's the stat I saw. That could be wrong.
So like maybe 1 to 2 a year.
No, 1 to 200 a year.
Yeah, 1 to 200 a year will make it to the top.
We'll make it to the tip top.
It's exactly like Eagle Scouts. I was researching this because I don't know if our audience knows, but Jorge is an Eagle Scout.
Eric is in love with Jorge now.
He just recently learned this after fucking being friends for years.
Yeah, it's incredible. But it's a similar thing where not everybody makes it, obviously. No. So, you know what I mean? So this is similar where a couple hundred every year will make it.
True.
I'm just curious, like, what's the secretiveness?
It's there
is no secret. If you talk to somebody,
no, it's a secret.
It is. So if we had a Mason on, I'd be like, hey, what's up with the Masons? And they'd be like, I can't talk about it.
No, he would probably give you some blasé answer, but in terms of the rituals that they do,
exactly. That's what's secret. That's what's behind doors.
Weeks, there was no data. There's no information about any of the rituals that they do, any of the shit. And they're all like, it's actually, kudos to them. That's a pretty dope group of homies that they're not going to spill the beans.
Like, what, 500 or thousands of years, or what was it? Like, when did they get started?
That's
hundreds of years for sure.
I mean, technically in the late 1700s, but then there's they go back to the Knights Templar, quote unquote. So it could be a lot later. You know, who knows?
Could be like ancient alien times.
Yeah, maybe different planets.
Was Jesus?
Hundreds of years of Freemasons.
Jesus was a carpenter, not a mason.
Yeah, you gotta be a Mason. That's how it started.
I don't know. Don't know the answer.
Jesus?
Don't know.
No, seriously, it's like
we're definitely getting canceled.
It's contradictory to because Freemasons were started by stonemasons.
Yeah, that's true.
That was the whole. That's why they're called Freemasons.
They're like screw carpentry. Jerks.
Eric is trying to get his canceled.
It's like the Navy. It's like the Navy Army. I know. You goddamn woods, you wooders, you wood boys.
Go join the Wood Masons.
Yeah, the Wood Masons. Yeah. I don't mean to make fun of anybody. I'm not trying to do that. What I'm just pointing out is that there are so many different people on that list from totally different walks of life.
Oh no, wait! It gets
weird. Keep going.
It gets way more diverse.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a big difference between FDR and J. Edgar Hoover. in my opinion, is a big difference.
It gets,
right? And so
it gets way more diverse than you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
So here, Mustafa Kemal Ataturk. This guy was the founder of the Republic of Turkey.
Okay.
Freemason. Wolfgang Mozart. Freemason.
Yeah.
Bach. William Bassi, who's like one of like the late great fucking...
Sebastian Bach, is that how you say it?
Yes.
Sebastian.
And then William Bassi's like a great jazz guy back in the day.
So there's artists, there's politics or politicians, there's statesmen, there's
I'm just gonna keep going. Just so you guys.
Keep going.
Yeah. So Simon,
do I see Mark Twain on there?
Yes, you do.
Love Mark Twain.
Mark Twain, Oscar Wilde, Voltaire, Dan Brown, which is weird because he wrote the Da Vinci Code, and he's like talking shit about the Masons, but he's like, one. No wonder he got all the inside
I
scoop.
love how Voltaire is right next to Dan Brown. Such a funny enlist.
I know.
That's crazy though.
Simon Bolivar, which Jorge obviously knows.
So you got one Hispanic, 99% white guys.
The guy single-handedly freed South America from the Spanish rule.
It's crazy. A majority of our history is, it seems like, left out South America.
Yeah.
Like a lot of it, right? Like
So
we're just
true.
like, well, we just...
Oh, there's Alamo.
That's as far as south we go.
that's as far as south as
San Antonio.
They're like,
Machu Picchu is crazy. That's it. That's all we know. All right.
We gotta do another episode on more pyramids and include some Machu Picchu in there.
oh, dude. Then we got guys like famous scientist Sir Alexander Fleming, guy who discovered penicillin.
Yeah.
I mean, holy shit. We got Edward Jenner, guy who pioneered the smallpox vaccine. He's known as the father of immunology. We got Joseph Lister, revolutionized the craft of surgery. Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple.
Hey,
That's
Steve,
cool.
he's still around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like a cool guy.
Yeah.
We got Jesse Jackson,
Okay.
Booker T. Washington, W.E.B.
Holy
Du
moly.
Bois, Thurgood Marshall, Al Sharpton, all these civil rights activists.
Oh, wow.
I know. All right, so then we got like famous explorers. We got Davy Crockett, Lewis and Clark, Charles Lindbergh, Buzz Aldrin, and John Glenn. 2 astronauts. So was
Really?
the moon
all
landing
know.
orchestrated by the
The
Masons?
Freemasons know. They know. We need you to join and find that out.
Yeah, Eric, you need to get the inside scoop
If
for
I
us.
can swing it, we'll see.
You can swing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder what it takes to, because I know, keep bringing it back to being an Eagle Scout, but becoming an Eagle Scout, you had to
Become an
do
astronaut.
things to get badges, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You had to fish to get your fishing badge.
I'm
and you
basically
had
a Freemason. I mean, Eagle Scout.
No, I honestly, I genuinely wonder what those things are that you need to do to move up in the levels.
I want to know too.
yeah.
Trust me, I'm super curious. Then we got Phil Collins, Brad.
What? What?
Yeah. Yes.
I can feel it.
I can feel that. I can feel that one.
We got Brad Paisley, Billy Ray Cyrus, Nat King Cole. Like that one threw me for a loop. I was like,
Wow.
what? That motherfucker was a Freemason? Like
Nat King Cole, huh?
Damn.
Then we get into athletes. We got Shaq, Scottie Pippen,
For real?
Bob Dole.
Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pips is a Freemason.
But not Michael Jordan.
Because Michael Jordan didn't need to be.
He's like, I'm already a GOAT.
John Elway, Don King, Sugar Ray Robinson, Jack Dempsey.
Okay, I love the mixture
Arnold
of
Palmer.
it. I love how we're not kept to a category. We jump around.
And well, Don King's in sports world. I had to throw him in there in that same category. And then the last 3, which are probably my 3 favorite, John Wayne,
Okay.
Nice.
Harry Houdini,
Oh.
and Richard Pryor.
That's cool.
Wow.
That's cool.
All right. That's impressive,
cool.
though.
But I mean, seriously, like, what
That's
the
impressive.
fuck? There's so many, like, weirdly... It just
Yeah.
all walks,
Oh, absolutely.
like, all the spectrums are
Yeah.
in these famous people.
Every aspect.
So they really...
At least every famous aspect.
It's like spider-webbed into, like,
Yeah.
all the aspects of
So, does it seem like it's majority wealthy people?
Well, no, this is... Okay, this list is specifically of famous people.
Okay.
I didn't make a list of Steve Timmons.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
That nobody knows.
My next door neighbor. Who gives
Yeah.
a shit about that? So moving on, since I couldn't find absolutely anything about rituals at all, zero. I could find
It's
no,
probably confident.
not even speculative,
Yeah.
not even someone like talking shit. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this is what they do. Found zero. So I decided we're going to go over, there's 14/15 main symbols that are
Okay.
kind of coincide with Freemasonry that are known in Freemasonry. So I just wanted to kind of go through those so everyone can obviously get a good feel of that. The biggest one is the square and compass, which is the actual symbol.
Right.
Square being a perfect 90-degree angle, which you use in masonry. You also use in carpentry, anything in building. And the compass, which is, if you remember in your old math class with the spike and the pencil, and you can make a perfect circle. So there's that. They're overset over each other.
It's all with roots of masonry work.
Yeah. So the square and compass, it depicts a builder square joined by a compass.
Yeah.
The meaning behind it is quite literal, with the square representing morality, in that Freemasons need to square their actions by the square of virtue with all mankind.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's what they believe.
That's nice.
So the compass then measures the ability to wisely conduct actions within certain boundaries. In other words, together with the square and compass, remind Freemasons to explore their desires and passions without stepping outside the realms of moral behavior. I mean, so when you read this shit, they're like, seem kind of like stand-up guys. I mean,
And that's like that's their
does.
main logo. Is it a logo?
That
I
is-
guess
that is-
symbol.
that
or
is the symbol.
What do they call it?
Remember
the logo.
There's a symbol of the Freemasons.
Symbol. Okay, fine.
It is
That's definitely the main one, the most known one.
Yeah, because that's what you see on the lodges.
Right,
that's what you see. That's
That's
what
that's what you see on the Denver airport, by the way.
Exactly, Lucifer.
You guys got to check out that Denver airport episode.
It's
that we
pretty
just
funny.
yeah we have
it's
one.
pretty
We have
absurd.
an episode on that. Check it out.
Yeah, connecting flight.
Can they just open until midnight, like the restaurants?
They're
It's
closed
so
at 7.
upsetting. Yeah, it's so upsetting.
So in that, there's also the G. So the G, actual letter G,
Okay.
in and of itself is a separate symbol, but a lot of times incorporated in the middle of the square and compass. So the G at its center remains subject to dispute. Some experts believe that the G is a symbol that represents geometry. And these are when I say experts, it's MIT who thinks that this is the thing. So obviously geometry is very critical to the Freemasons. They're really into that kind of thing. But others believe that the G represents God, the grand architect of the universe.
Others like me.
Okay.
The Freemasons consider God the grand architect of the universe. That's what he's called. So others believes that it represents the word gnosis, meaning knowledge of spiritual mysteries, which is a big component of Masonry. Others still devise that the letter G is in ancient Hebrew had a numerical value of 3, which is highly referenced throughout history when talking about God.
It is.
Apparently so.
Never-
I'm not a biblical
First
scholar, so I don't really know.
No, well, I mean, same, but I don't know. It's the first time I hear it. That's cool.
Well,
That's cool, though.
Well, you think
Yeah, I
of
don't
3,
know.
the Holy Trinity.
Oh, okay.
That
Yeah,
kind of,
that's true.
God,
Things
the
happen in
Son,
threes.
Holy Spirit,
In The Sopranos.
exactly.
Things happens
God.
in threes,
I think The Sopranos
right?
is a metaphor
What is
for
it?
God.
Uncle. What's his uncle? What's his uncle's name? He's got the shaved head.
I know.
He was terrified of things happening in threes.
Oh, he was.
And so
that's
that's
what he
why.
he thought he was going to
Yes,
die of like a
yes,
fucking heart.
yes.
He's like, oh, that's
Yes.
coming for me.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember that. I
classics.
know, I
Yeah.
love that guy.
Things happen in threes.
So anyways, so that's that one. So the next one that everyone knows about is the all-seeing eye. Dun, dun, dun.
So
I thought that was Illuminati.
I mean,
I know. See, that's
Okay.
confusing.
Hey, we're learning some new shit here.
This is why it all mixes together.
all right. So I have a.
Right.
I
right.
have.
This is
And
the
this
part.
is this is the part where us normal folk don't quite. You know what I mean?
So the all-seeing eye is also known as the Masonic Eye of Providence. So it's up there as one of the most recognized Freemason symbols, especially since you can see it on the dollar bill. It's been around since 1797 when it was first introduced in a publication that's called the Freemasons Monitor. That was like their own little thing. So in this use, the eye representing the all-seeing eye of God serves as a reminder that humanity's thoughts and deeds are always observed by God, who is referred to in Masonry as the great architect of the universe, which we just went over. So popular among conspiracy theorists is the claim that the Eye of Providence, shown atop the unfinished pyramid of the Great Seal of the United States, indicates the influence of Freemasonry in the founding of the United States. However, common Masonic use of the eye dates to 14 years after the creation of the Great Seal, which I do understand because...
I wonder. It would be interesting to look at who created the dollar bill.
Oh, we'll get into that.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. All right. Tit for tat.
Tit for tat. All right, so furthermore, the only Mason among the members of the various design committees for the Great Seal was Benjamin Franklin, whose ideas for the seal were not adopted. So that's kind of like a misnomer. Some of his ideas were not adopted. Some of them. So I can see them trying to cover their tracks. No, some of them weren't accepted. but some of them were. So in 1782, the Eye of Providence was adopted as part of the symbolism featured on the reverse side of the Great Seal of the United States. It was first proposed as an element of the Great Seal by the first of 3 design committees in 1776. It's thought to be a suggestion by an artistic consultant named Pierre Eugène de Saint-Matier. At the time, it was a conventional symbol for God's benevolent oversight. So in the original proposal to the committee, de Saint-Matier placed the eye over shields so as to symbolize each of the original 13 states of the Union. On the version of the seal that would eventually be approved, the eye is positioned above an unfinished pyramid of 13 steps. Again, symbolizing the original 13 colonies.
Yeah.
But also incorporating the nation's potential for future growth, meaning it's unfinished, we can build bigger. Right. So this type of symbolism is explained through the model that appears above the eye, annuit coepitus, meaning he approves our undertakings.
Okay.
So meaning God approves our undertakings.
Yeah.
So perhaps due to its use in the design of the Great Seal, the eye has made its way into other American seals and logos. Similarly, the symbols featured in the front page of the Constitution of Serbia from 1835. In Nigeria, the eye symbol is part of the Nigerian Customs Service logo.
Wow, this is everywhere.
It's
deep.
Fucking everywhere. Dude. It's
everywhere. Yeah.
And it's not just white guys, and Nigeria.
It's just white guys.
It's not just white dudes.
Yeah.
So it's also found in religion, the eye is. The association of an eye with the concept of divine providence is found in Christianity. In late Renaissance European iconography, the eye surrounded by a triangle was an explicit symbol of the Christian Holy Trinity. I think this is back to the threes thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So 17th century depictions of the eye sometimes show it surrounded by clouds or sunbursts. The eye of God in a triangle is still used in church architecture and Christian art to symbolize the Trinity and God's omnipresence and divine providence.
Okay.
So yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
No, I was going to get into the conspiracy of that all, just how they're always watching. Like that's kind of like what it symbolizes.
It's
right?
a little 1985 George Orwell.
Yeah. But isn't it more like God's
watching you? Yeah.
Or is the Freemasons?
No, I know, but I mean, isn't that what it's? That's the point of it.
That's
though,
what they say.
Is that hey?
That's what they say.
No, I and correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not a Mason.
Yet.
I'd love to. I'd love to explore that further, but no, the idea behind it, I think, is that act like you would if your creator was watching you.
Yes, that's what it's supposed to represent.
So that's why what I'm doing.
Like you get the logic behind it, right?
Correct.
That's the
logic.
That's
But the
the logic
conspiracy
of it. Yeah.
is that we're always watched and we're always monitored and controlled. And
Yeah.
I mean, this is true. That's why if I'm doing like
that's what this whole
unsavory
show is about. So,
So maybe like get with it.
question everything.
question everything.
Okay.
well, next time Eric's doing some unsavory acts, he's gonna flip his dollar bill over.
No, I'm gonna be like,
to the
yeah.
face.
I mean, like I should probably act like my creator's watching me.
So the next big one, symbolism wise, in Freemasonry is called the anchor and the ark.
Okay.
It's literally an anchor, and the ark being like an ark, Noah's Ark.
Yeah. Okay.
So the anchor is used a lot in Christian symbolism and has been adopted by Freemasons to have similar meaning. Basically, it represents hope as well as peace against stormy weather.
Okay.
Anchor you down.
Yeah.
So an anchor is used quite literally as a way of grounding a ship. We all know that. And in the same way, the symbol talks about living a life that is grounded in hope and peace.
Okay.
So in the third degree, which is the various
Third
degrees.
level.
How many degrees are there again?
Well, it depends.
33.
No, that's in the Scottish Rite.
Oh,
In traditional and in normal Mason, there's only 3.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, this is news to us.
We did it on the first episode, boys.
Sorry,
So Eric and Jorge forgot everything.
No, but that's the highest level
over
here.
It's called Master Mason
right.
would be the third degree in some forms of Masonry. Obviously, in the Scottish Rite, there's a 33rd degree, which is the highest level you can get to.
Okay.
So in the third degree, whose teachings all relate to life and death, the anchor and the ark are emblems of a well-grounded hope in a well-spent life.
Okay.
They are emblematical of the divine ark, which safely wafts us over the tempestuous seas of troubles.
Holy shit, that was a mouthful.
I know.
Emblematical. By the way.
Emblematical.
Emblematical.
Yes, it's a great word. and that the anchor which shall safely moor us in a peaceful harbor where the wicked cease from troubling and the weary shall find rest. I mean, this is a quote. Just so you know, I didn't make that up.
You're like, that's not my
That's
normal
not how I
vocabulary.
communicate.
Yeah.
So the next symbol is the Masonic gavel. So in the operative stonemason era, the common gavel was a tool used to break the rough edges from the stones in order to perfectly fit them into place. So it's an actual, it's like a hammer. So the Masonic gavel is an emblem of authority used by the master of the lodge to show his executive power over the assemblage by punctuating its actions. In this capacity, order is maintained and a structured outcome to the proceedings is achieved.
Order in the lodge.
So, in speculative Freemasonry, the Masonic gavel is used to symbolically divest the heart and consciousness.
What's speculative masonry?
It is just another. It's
an offshoot.
It's another brand. There's like 40.
It's an offshoot.
There's like 40 different types of Freemasonry.
Okay. All right.
So, that is used symbolically to divest the heart and consciousness of all the vices and excesses of life in order to ready ourselves as if we were living stones. So it's, how the hand used it, the stone, to make it perfectly fit. It's like to make yourself fit the life you're meant to. So this isn't Judge Judy's gavel.
That's what I was going to ask. So it's not really
different.
It's not really a order in the gavel, order in the lodge type of gavel.
No, so the head of the gavel is rectangular. And it's flat on one end. And it could be slightly pinched to come to a point, almost like a little spike-ish.
A little house type.
Yeah, it's like a little triangle house.
At the bottom, it's flat. You just said top.
Yeah, it's
triangle.
meant for you can imagine as a mason back in the hizzy, you want a little sharp little end. You can and then hit it off at the rectangle side.
Yeah,
almost like Andy Dufresne's little pickaxe.
True.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're a pop culture king right now. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you're on point.
Andy Dufresne.
Yes.
We'll put a picture on the website so you guys can check that out.
Yes, and we'll put up all these symbols so you can see because they're very obscure. I didn't know about any of them.
Oh man.
All right. So the next symbol is the Masonic sheaf of corn.
What the fuck?
Yep. So the Masonic.
First off, what is a sheaf
of corn?
What's a sheaf?
It's like a bundle. It's like imagine a little bundle.
It's with the hairs and the.
Yeah, it's like you have a little. It's a little bundle.
Can I see?
It's like a little bundle thing.
Yeah, it's just like a bundle.
Okay, it's a sheaf.
It's a sheaf.
Yeah,
fine.
Exactly.
That's a sheaf.
So the Masonic sheaf of corn in King Solomon's day, they're always going back to King Solomon, represented part of the wages reaped from the master mason's labor. So the sheaf of corn represented the coin of the realm to our ancient brethren, the people of Israel. That's what they said.
Okay.
While we were paid in dollars and cents today, corn, wine, and oil were the wages of the fruits of their labor. So kind of represents exchange for services rendered.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. You're like, hey, well done today.
Here's a sheaf.
Here's a sheaf.
How many sheaves for today's services? So today it is used as a symbol of that time long ago, mostly during the dedication, constitution, and consecration of a new lodge, and in the laying the cornerstones, because they're masons, so they put a big deal on laying the cornerstone of the building.
The first one.
Yeah. So at those times, the Masonic sheaf of corn represented the fruits of our labors, our sacrifices, and all we have done to deserve them. It also represents charitable giving to the less fortunate. So the next is the acacia tree. The acacia tree is an incredibly hardy, durable tree, and as such has been used to depict immortality throughout ancient history. Both the Hebrews and the Egyptians believed that because of its hardness, durability, and evergreen nature, that this tree was a symbol of both innocence and immortality. The Hebrew people used to mark their graves with a sprig of acacia for this very reason. Aligning with the Masonry belief in the afterlife, the acacia tree represents their enduring immortal souls. So, the Ark of the Covenant, we've all seen Indiana Jones, when they open it. Don't look into the Ark! So as we discussed in the first part of the Masons, a lot of significance has been tied to King Solomon's temple.
Right.
I think it's because that was the first major thing ever commissioned. Supposedly, the Ark of the Covenant was stored at King Solomon's temple before it was raided and stolen from there. So the Ark of the Covenant can be found in the Bible as God's promise to David. Freemasons draw significance and symbolism from it as today it represents God's continued forgiveness of their transgressions. That's what they believe. The Ark supposedly contained a golden pot filled with manna. The Lord commanded Moses to fill a gold vessel with manna and keep it in memorial to future generations of how God fed them in the wilderness. The golden pot of manna signifies eternal life.
So
it's manna with two ends.
Oh, mana with 2 ends. That changed things.
It makes it real easy.
I was about to do an explanation. So, Jorge, there's level 17 mana, an edible substance which God provided for the Israelites during their travels in the desert.
So there was a gold pot filled with that.
Yeah.
There was also Aaron's rod.
Sounds tasty.
I'll have the mana salad, please.
I can go for some mana right now.
And with a side of Ezekiel bread.
I like that. I like it. I like it a lot. Have you ever tried bread and wine?
No.
That was
What do you
like
mean?
a staple.
Like dunking it?
Yeah, like it seems like it was a
Like
staple.
real bread?
Like,
Okay.
like,
I didn't know if
like
you were
a
talking about like
sourdough bread, maybe dip it in wine.
I don't think they had sourdough back in the
Yeah,
day.
sourdough.
Like, he's like, let's
What do you think it was?
it was
What-
Ezekiel bread. Come on.
What kind of bread do you think it was?
Dude, it was made with millet. It was like millet bread. It was Ezekiel bread.
No.
Sounds
For a
No wonder
second.
they dunk it in wine because it
never
tastes
mind.
like shit.
Ooh, right. You think there was gluten in it?
No, it's gluten free.
Yeah, it's gluten-free.
It's millet. Yeah.
Gluten free. No wonder they were so thin.
I know, they were in the desert and like, fuck.
Meanwhile, I've got like a patch of gluten right here. Do you know what I mean? Like it's definitely not the Coors Banquet.
But yeah.
It's not the Coors Banquet. That's not the problem.
No. How many there's there's less calories in here than some millet bread.
Yeah, it's the bread.
It's the bread.
It's the bread.
fucking
It's Monsanto. That's what it is.
Anyways. So there's a Masonic altar. So today, the Masonic altar within a Masonic lodge upon which resides the holy books, which I would love to see what's in those. Like, what's up in the holy books, bro?
The holy books.
The holy books.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, because it's not less like Bibles. It's probably some other books. You know what I'm saying? So it's an altar. It's a literal altar.
Yeah.
Like you walk into a church, it's like an altar.
Okay.
So it's a symbol of a place of communion with the supreme architect of the universe.
Okay.
I mean, no wonder people just call it God. No one wants to say the supreme architect of the
right.
universe all the time.
No.
I'd like to give thanks to the supreme architect of the
shortened
universe.
it.
It's so much words.
Yeah.
Like, stop saying it. However, in ancient times, this is great. In ancient times, they were a place of sacrifice, atonement, and communion with the supreme architect. So maybe like back in the day, they were doing some blood sacrifice, blood oath.
It was their own, their own religion, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, we'll get into that later.
I don't know. I don't think it's.
So Eric is about to become a lawyer to defend.
It doesn't.
defend
I know.
Masons.
I know.
Anyways, the next is the cable towel, which is really, it's just like, it's literally rope.
Yeah.
So this cable towel is part of the dress of a candidate in which he agrees to go to the aid of his brother with all of his power. It's literally put onto his, it's put onto his
Onto his
thing.
rope,
And it's like rope and it's tied up like this.
So you're. Okay.
No, I'll explain. So
Yeah. No, I get it. And it ties your robe together.
yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It doesn't really, but it's just on your robe.
It's a pretty hot excess.
By excess, he means accessory.
Yes.
No one else.
For those not paying attention.
For those not up with pop
The
culture,
times.
like Eric is.
So the length of the rope is symbolic of the first brother's abilities. It is defined also as a cable's length, which is symbolically measured as 3 miles for an entered apprentice. Obviously, he's not wearing 3 miles of rope. It's impossible.
Right.
So with its 2 ends, it binds the mason to the fraternity as well as bonds the fraternity to the mason. So it's almost saying, yo, we're with you.
Yeah,
You're in.
this is
We're
our-
You in,
together.
you're not getting out.
You got me, I got you. Yeah, and you say some shit about a ritual?
Yeah, this is not, yeah.
I'm gonna yank that rope.
Yeah,
I'm
that rope is going to
Yeah.
gonna hang you.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that shit
You're
around
going to
your
hang
neck.
yourself from like a broom closet.
When you guys talk ghetto, you guys remind me of Will Smith trying to talk ghetto.
Bad
When
boys,
he's-
bad
when-
boys.
when-
I go
Yeah.
back to jail.
Yo, hey, I'm Mike Lowry. I'm Mike Lowry.
That's
And
also
you're
funny.
like, well, are you really
Like-
ghetto?
Like, you're driving Ferrari. Like,
yeah, what was
even
the
as
last time
Mike
you were
La-
ghetto?
No, even
Will?
as Mike Lowry he drives a Ferrari.
I
I'm like,
know.
what is that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was doing Martin. Martin was the one that was like, "Oh, I'm Mike Lowry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
Mike
yeah,
Lowry.
yeah. Mike Lowry.
Yeah.
You wanted Mike Lowry, you got Mike Lowry."
I'm Mike Lowry.
It does make us laugh. We're still talking about it 30 years later.
I know, seriously.
Yeah. Good on you, boys.
Martin
Good on you. You
Lawrence
know they're
did the-
coming out with another one.
No way.
Yeah.
The last one was not good.
I know the last
Yeah.
one.
I'm
was
sorry,
okay.
the last
no.
one
But I
was
do
like,
love the Bad
No.
Boys franchise.
I do, but Bad Boys 2
it's done.
was
It's
great.
It's over?
Oh,
Dude,
it's
the last one
done.
was trash.
But are you going to go? Are you going to watch it?
I mean,
new
like,
one comes out, you're gonna show up.
Probably.
so the next is the Masonic shoe, also known as the Masonic blue slipper. So the Masonic shoe is symbolic of physical confirmation of a spoken deed. So the unloose of one shoe and give it to another was the way of confirming a contract in ancient times. Because I guess, shoe was mad important. You're like, dog, like, I promise you I'm going to give you these goats. Take my shoe. Take my shoe, player.
Somebody's like, what are those?
You get what I'm saying? You guys, I love when you guys go get up. I love it. Keep going. Keep going. Sorry.
So
Wait, need some fresh kicks. Let me get you that Masonic shoe. It's a fresh drop.
dude, I got those Masonic fives, bro. Like, you ain't ready for it.
Masonic fives.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
It's a fresh drop. Dude, you're gonna be dripping all through the temple on these, boy. Like, you ain't ready for it.
Okay, so for us white people, I don't even know what dripping means. Dripping is a good thing?
No,
drip.
you know what the drip.
Your drip.
Like,
Your
drip.
I don't know what that
You're
means.
fucking.
It's
you're
like
out
I just
there.
really
Like,
think of erectile dysfunction and then dripping out. And
That's the droop.
yeah.
Not the drip.
that's how off I am.
Okay, so
All right, here we go.
so in the first.
By the way, real quick, it's actually fun fact. You can get custom Converse with
the Masonic.
Yes, check it out.
Oh damn!
I'm gonna get Eric some.
You should.
You can do like print on demand,
He
fucking
walks-
Converse with the symbol
Yeah, and on the other side, put question everything.
right there. Yeah.
Eric walks in for his first meeting. So in the first degree, the shoe denotes a promise. In the third degree, the symbolism is altogether different. So the third degree, removal of both shoes when on sacred ground. And then it's called it's discalciation. It's a ceremony. So it's a ceremony of the removal of both shoes as a token of respect when we are on or about to approach holy ground. So it's almost like, you walk in the Buddhist temple or something, like kick your shoes off. It's just like showing respect.
Yeah.
It's a respect type thing.
You know the crazy thing about this podcast
Go ahead.
adventure that we're on, this podcast adventure is how deep do you want to go in every story that we take up?
Eric
Do you know what I
wants to
mean?
go deep
Eric
and
wants
join
to-
the Freemasons.
Eric's
that's
like,
what I'm saying,
he's like, in 6 years, I'm going to come back.
Yeah, so
We're
we've
gonna redo the
update.
So we've got a couple upcoming that I've been working on that are O.J. Simpson and also Robert Kennedy. So it's kind of how deep do you want to go? And the same is with the Masons that we're talking about. Like how, I mean, do we do a couple hours?
Do we go
and then that's it?
investigative journalism?
Yes.
Do we get in?
Or do we go? You know what I mean? It's just an interesting. I found it going. Maybe I'm done. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like JFK. When we did JFK,
JFK was a lot.
You just kept
was
opening
done.
it up more? Or
yeah,
what?
but I realized at the end I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, we made 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you
Like,
get to a point where.
you're like, I'm done. Yeah, I don't want to do it anymore.
And not only that, like similar to what Sean's going through, is there's nothing else out there that I know. Like unless you go
other than going in.
exactly.
It's either that or
Exactly.
like,
Yes.
how do I get?
exactly.
How do I view?
And also, I want to also respect them. I don't want to like hack their shit.
no,
and,
of course not.
like break their confidentialities and
No,
you know what I mean.
So the last of the major symbols is called the 47th problem of Euclid. So the 47th problem.
47th problem of Euclid.
So the 47th problem of Euclid. Euclid is the father of geometry, by the way,
Okay.
but it's also known as Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's symbolic of the need to square your square. Because obviously, if you look at Pythagorean theorem, and it's accompanied by a very interesting kind of symbol. It's like 3 different squares, and it's the 3, 5, 3, 4, 5 problem is exactly what it's called. But so in everyday practice, this means to keep your life in order and in building infrastructure. It is the method Freemasons follow when laying foundations. So it's actually, and literally, Euclid was trying to solve this problem.
Yeah.
So Euclid solved this problem 150 or 200 years before Pythagorean existed, before he was even there. And so then Pythagoras came up with Pythagorean theorem, but it's literally it's a geometric problem.
Yeah.
And you're able to solve it. It's really confusing.
But basically, it's supposed to represent what? Keep your life in order, is that what you said?
Yeah, it's just, it's just keep your life in order and
Check
building
your-
infrastructure.
Check-
and
Yeah.
But check yourself.
Yeah, you better square your square.
Yeah.
You better square your square. So now on to the finale. These are the conspiracy, and they're really weird. And so, okay, I just want to say this now.
Yeah.
I'm just reading.
Yeah.
I'm literally just reading. These are not my core beliefs.
Okay.
I'm
I like the disclaimer.
I'm just reading.
I like the disclaimer.
So I'm literally this note that I'm reading.
Okay.
Okay, so firstly, some of the conspiracy theories involving Freemasons and the Illuminati, there's a lot of, like the Illuminati and Freemasons are in cahoots. Also include the Knights Templar and the Jews as part of a supposed plan to universally control the society.
Right.
So
I hate to be the idiot in the crew.
Too late.
you're already there.
So what's the difference between the Masons and the Illuminati?
So
that
doesn't make you an idiot. I also
confusing, right?
You were confused, right, when you started researching this. I think a lot of people are.
They're in essence they're supposedly separate entities.
Mm-hmm.
So like the Freemasons being more of a fraternity, although they are still classified as a secret society, the Illuminati being like almost like a cabal.
Okay.
Like in essence, like a group of the quote unquote
They're
illuminate.
even more secretive and more.
Well, yeah, because people don't know
elusive.
if they don't know if they really exist or not.
I see.
Whereas the Freemasons,
this
you
is
go to freemason.org.
At least a little bit of documentary.
There's
or document.
There's lodges everywhere.
Yeah, I see.
You
I
just
see.
waltz
Okay.
on in.
Yeah, like we could go down the street tomorrow and
No, there's
sign up.
Literally there's 3 lodges that I know of within 3 square miles. All right, so here's the first one, and like I said, this is not my beliefs. I'm not Kanye, so just let that be known.
Yeah.
So the first one is that Freemasonry. I can't. It's hard to even read. I'm reading this. This is not how I believe. So that Freemasonry is a Jewish front for world domination, or is at least controlled by the Jews for this goal. Sorry.
It's absurd, right?
So an example of this is the anti-Semitic, literally forgery, the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, which is one of the things we're actually going to do in the podcast.
Yeah.
So Adolf Hitler, that piece of shit, so he believed that Freemasonry was a tool of the Jewish influence and outlawed.
Wow.
Yeah, he
really?
He outlawed Freemasonry and persecuted Freemasons for this reason.
So here's what I don't understand. Based on everything we've done now, 3 hours of this, 2 hours, whatever. Almost 3 hours.
Yeah, almost 3.
Almost 3 hours. And what is the negative?
See, I think
we're about to get into the
I'm just saying,
conspiracies.
like, if you're Hitler and you're like, what's the logical negative of this? They're just trying to be better people.
No, I think
Right?
I think that
If you're Hitler?
No,
I'm just saying, why would you ban it?
Hitler looking at the Freemasons.
Yeah, he banned it.
Hitler banned it because he had the idea that it was something else, and so I think what comes into the negative
That
is
was
then-
just
yeah,
Jewish
so,
people just doing the Jewish stuff.
That's what he
So
thought.
I think it's
and
I
that's
think
why he banned
the
it.
negative comes in because like you don't know. You don't actually know what's going on. You don't know what they're doing.
So he more banned it on a secretive society,
He-
a group that he couldn't join.
Well, I mean, Hitler
You
was
know.
very known for just being like a very impulsive kind of guy. He's like, "Oh, you're talking shit, you're dead," or like,
Yeah.
easily. He's like, "No, I was just saying that the brisket was delicious," and like, you're dead.
Right.
So, I mean, obviously Hitler was a fucking psychopath.
Yeah, and I know that's an extreme example, but I'm just saying, what's the negative here?
It's
It's
obviously.
just dudes trying to be better people, right?
I mean,
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, Eric, I get it. No, for
Right.
sure. No,
Anyways.
it's true.
No, in a way,
It's
for
true.
sure. And that's what's promoted.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
You know, but
I mean, like, and that's what's on the website.
but the
For sure.
yeah,
Yeah, like,
exactly.
I get it.
Yeah.
But
but the unknown, the unknown.
I would say like six presidents, the director of the FBI.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, like, to me, it's
the eye overlooking
some-
everyone. The
I personally believe that
Yeah.
if there's that many politicians and they're doing some sketch shit,
Yeah.
like
100%.
because politicians, unfortunately,
So
are
it
the
just-
sleaziest
it's-
people
so
ever.
Do you think it's chance that all these people are Freemasons?
Chance? I don't know if I would call it chance, but you know what I mean? I don't know if I would
Exactly.
call it chance, but
it's not really chance, right? So if I don't think it is, and then, so there's all these powerful people that are in charge of making laws and regulations and overseeing a lot of people, and that's where the conspiracies start.
I go back to everything that we've learned so far is that it seems like they're just trying to be better people.
For sure. And
you know what I mean? They're just trying to be, hey, I'm trying to, God's watching me.
Let's come to
keep an eye on me because God's watching me. And so I'm going to be a better person. I'm going to be a better person.
Can we get to our conclusions?
Yeah,
like, Jesus Christ, they need to put you on like the fucking front page of God. You were like willing to die on the cross for this guy. Like, my God. I was like, this is bullshit. I cannot believe Hitler would ever believe.
Let the man talk.
Yeah, all right, go ahead.
I totally respect your views, and I agree with a lot of them. But we'll save the conclusions for I just want to read these off. So also on that same note with Hitler's fucking psychosis, the Covenant of the Palestinian Islamist movement, Hamas, who literally hate the Jewish people.
Okay.
They've been at war for like fucking 700 years.
Yeah.
Literally. They claim that that Freemasonry is a secret society founded as part of the Zionist plot to control the world. And then Hilaire Belloc thought Jews had inaugurated Freemasonry as a bridge between themselves and their hosts. I really don't know what that means, their hosts, but obviously, like these.
You say hoes?
Yeah.
Hosts.
Oh, okay.
So obviously, like this one, as you can see, it's like you're taking like multiple factions of people who hate the Jewish community. So like this one's kind of like, okay, it's like what Hitler believes. I'm like, okay.
It sounds like
Hamas believe that the Jews, like, okay.
Yeah, right. Sounds like propaganda.
Yeah, I mean, the first one is just ridiculous. That's why it was really hard to read it because it's kind of insane. So related to that is that Freemasonry is tied to or behind communism. The Spanish dictator Francisco Franco had often associated his opposition with both Freemasonry and communism, and saw the latter as a conspiracy of the former. As he put it, the whole secret of the campaigns unleashed against Spain can be explained in two words: Masonry and communism. In 1950, Irish writer Dennis Fahey republished a work by George F. Dillon under the title Grand Orient Freemasonry Unmasked as the secret power behind communism. Modern conspiracy theorists such as Henry Makow have also claimed that Freemasonry intends the triumph of communism. I mean, I'd love to see like what they're basing that off of.
Yeah,
because I don't.
Communism is a crazy subject.
It really
in
is
itself. You know,
and it doesn't really fit a lot of the other personalities that we've seen or people that you've named at the beginning.
Like GW really wanted communism, huh?
Right.
I just don't think.
He literally is the founding father of a democracy.
Right.
He started the free capitalism
but it's,
of the planet. You know,
but it's also I just like I can see like maybe where they're going at is if they think that they're looking for total control. Communism is a great way to do it because it's a way to make people believe that they can't be more than they are.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, I get it, but it's still kind of. It really doesn't make sense, honestly. It's kind of ridiculous. But I see if you think that this group is trying to take over, communism is the way to go because you can really make your population feel like they're shit.
Right.
So anyways, the next one is Freemasons are behind income taxes in the U.S.
Yes! This is the one. This is the one.
So one convicted tax protester.
Fuck taxes.
Has charged the law enforcement officials who surrounded his property in a standoff over his refusal to surrender after his conviction were part of a Zionist Illuminati Freemason movement. The New Hampshire union leader also reported that the Browns believe the IRS and the federal income tax are part of a deliberate plot perpetrated by Freemasons to control the American people and eventually the world. All right. So the next one is that the BUU, which is the Sigma Pi Phi fraternity, is and has been a cornerstone of Prince Hall Masonry's political influence with Masonic congressmen, such as Louis Stokes, John Conyers, Charles Rangel, August Hawkins, John Lewis, Ralph Metcalf, Kelsey Mufumi, Elijah Cummings, and Jesse Jackson. Wow. So I guess they're saying like they're pretty much pushing their political influence through these avenues.
Okay.
Yeah, we already talked. I already mention that. Like, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, 100% what you just mentioned, but definitely the politicians are in there, and they're.
It's not
It's
like,
like-
nepotism, but it's a similar thing to that, right? Where it's your
Right.
homies,
Exactly.
right? So let's.
Yeah, like,
You know what I mean?
let's hook up
maybe,
Eric.
yeah, maybe,
Like,
yes.
he's my homie.
he's
Yes.
like, let me see your
Yes.
resume. Looks
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm rolling. I'm
see-
trying to be comptroller.
He's like, I see Eagle Scout on here.
Yeah,
This looks good.
Yes. I'm trying to be comptroller of, and I'm a Mason.
Yeah, he's like,
Exactly.
But then you've got another guy who's not. You don't know him. La la. You haven't broken bread.
you do this. You do the secret handshakes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which there are multiple, and you're
Yeah,
like,
I see. I see.
the secret sacrifice.
So what you're saying is
ceremony.
What you're saying is I should have joined this like.
Dude, we
10 years ago.
maybe it would have been fucking
2002
rich by now. Like,
Yeah.
damn,
Okay.
missed out.
So the next is the Freemasons have strong links with the more selective secret and semi-secret societies. The last of this particular category is that groups such as the Ku Klux Klan and the Orange Order are intimately tied
The
to
Orange Order.
Freemasonry.
Wow.
So the next is on the religious occultism
Oh, yeah.
spectrum.
Okay.
The next is that they worship the Hal, which is an evil figure in Islamic eschatology, similar to the Antichrist in Christianity. So pretty much like the devil, in essence. So pretty much he would pretend to be the promised Messiah, and he would appear before the day of judgment. So in essence, just like imagine Satan, but like in a different religion.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then
But that kind of goes against everything else that you've been talking about, episode 1, and then this episode, as far as, just as far as like the whole everything connected to the religion, Christ.
it does go against what they're saying.
Like there's nothing on there as far as their rituals or as far as anything else.
Very
So
true. It's very true.
I don't know about that one.
I don't know about that one either. Obviously, they follow Judaism a lot with, the King Solomon's temple and all this stuff, Ark of the Covenant, all the Moses, So pretty much it all revolves around, political, cultural, and religious kind of subterfuge and control is what all the conspiracies are really based around.
Right.
So now I'd love to hear Eric's side here. What do you believe, Eric?
Um.
And what did you believe at the beginning?
Well,
At the beginning, no. Honestly, at the beginning, I didn't really understand any of it. Frankly,
yeah.
I didn't really
same.
get it at all. Like
Same.
I didn't even know what
You
it
just
was.
kind of like hear about it, and you hear
Yeah,
some stuff going around,
yeah,
flying
yeah.
around.
Yeah, Nick Cage. Do you know what I mean? Oh, this is a Masonic symbol.
Declaration of
yes.
Independence.
So I didn't know anything about it. So, but after all this research and this information, I actually like it. I actually really like it. I'm gonna be
In what
honest
way?
with you guys.
In what way? Expand on that.
I think the innate purpose of it is good. Do you know what I mean? They're trying to be better people, and they're trying to be, whether or not later in time it got skewed to being, manipulative and politically, inclined, and I don't. It's not nepotism, but it's like favoritism.
Well,
Favoritism is a good word, yeah.
Nepotism, familial.
Yeah, but in
Yeah.
a fraternity, you're brothers. Therefore,
Yes.
it is nepotism because you're a family.
Yes,
now.
exactly.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you have two candidates and you are a Mason, and you have two candidates in front of you, and one of them is a 33rd class Mason in the Scottish Rite, or
Oh, he's
you're
in.
gonna take. Yeah, that person's gonna be more inclined.
Oh,
to
so
take
you were a
that
janitor
person.
before.
So with that being, so that part maybe seems to skew it like to the negative, but overall, it seems like they're just trying to be better people.
So like 80-20, 80 positive, 20
Yeah,
conspiracy.
yes, yeah.
for
like
you.
I mean, each to their own, because there's the list that he said at the beginning covers so much, such a big spectrum
It's like
that,
it's everything.
just because
Fucking astronauts.
yeah, just because one guy,
musicians,
just because
athletes,
J. Edgar Hoover,
presidents.
just because Hoover was like a dick doesn't mean that Masons were
They're all dicks. Yeah.
dicks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
for sure.
Or whatever. So with that being said, I think it's great. I am for any organization that is trying to improve a person.
No, totally.
And just being like, hey,
For sure.
hey, don't fucking do drugs and be a man and be a good person. How can you be against that?
I'm 100% for that.
But it feels like we don't know the tenets.
No, for sure.
Right.
No,
right?
no,
Like, we
totally.
don't know.
No.
We're not indoctrinated into their system.
exactly.
So yeah.
Exactly.
You can't really fully know until
So in my
you're in
opinion,
there.
so in my opinion, if you're a Mason and you're listening, I dig it.
No, totally. All right.
and we want you to call
Yeah,
in
I'd
and
love
reach
to know
out
more
or
about it
send us an email or something. I don't know.
Because the strange part is it is shrouded in mystery.
Yeah, because no one. Yeah,
We're
I
obviously
understand.
doing an episode on it.
Yeah,
that
for
means
sure.
it's shrouded in mystery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Totally.
So
And some conspiracies. I mean, I do believe some of the maybe a mixture of the conspiracies that you went over, as far as like, I do believe that it started
yeah,
as a different thing than it is now.
yeah,
And yeah, and there's a lot of political influence, coming from there and whatnot. And so that's where I think the conspiracy comes from. Do you have other members that are not maybe, part of the conspiracy?
for
And is that 100%, right? 100, yeah, for sure.
Probably the majority. Like,
Probably
honestly,
the majority. Probably
yeah.
the majority. But I do think that, there's definitely a lot of conspiracies are substantiated, but maybe not substantiated. That's the wrong word. But I definitely believe some of these conspiracies that we went over in like a mixture of them, necessarily not one by one, but
yeah.
I don't know.
I just don't get what they're doing wrong,
No. Okay.
Well, here's
no
like,
one's saying they're doing anything wrong.
right?
I mean, but where I'm at is I do believe it was founded for a good purpose.
Yeah,
and
there you go.
I do believe.
founded.
There
Yeah,
you
that
go.
was a long time ago.
No, just hear me out. I do believe it was brought about on a good purpose, and I do believe for the most part it likely is still going on like that.
Yeah,
I do believe probably 98% of all Freemasons are like just trying to be better dudes and just trying to
Be
good,
part of a
be good-
fraternity
be
or-
good
Yeah.
fathers, be good fucking brothers and uncles and dads and like, sons and just, trying to live their life and be fucking great and be happy.
yeah,
But, there's that other 2%. And that's where like there's too much influence to be had. And it's really easy to manipulate a platform like this because you have you have supreme access to all the top people that you need to network with in order to make shit happen.
yeah.
And I'm sorry, but
It's too much power. You
a
don't like
lot
the
of
power.
these
That's the thing.
You
There's
don't
too
like
much
it too much
power.
power.
it's too much power, and you
It's too
have
much power.
and it's really easy.
That's
when
what you don't like is the too much power.
It's really easy when you have such a nice,
That's
good
where the
thing,
conspiracies start
good
flying
thing
out.
to fall back on. You're like, oh, we're Masons, bro. It's all about living your life. Live your life, yeah, yeah. And then when they're top, it's almost like, funny example, the U.S. government,
right.
where it's founded by G-Dub and the boys, and they're like, yeah, we're not gonna have the same English shit happen again. And then what do you know? The whole reason the U.S. exists is because the colonies were stop taxing us, King. And the King's like, I'm on my island. And they're no more taxes. Fuck this. We want to be our own place. And they revolted and they won and they created the United States. And what do you know? The IRS comes fucking. We're gonna need that tax. We're gonna need that tax.
No, this is a different conversation.
No.
But that's taxation without representation.
No.
That's a difference in tax.
Yeah, but who's
The
representing?
founding fathers did not believe in taxes.
No,
Just so we're all
But
clear.
listen to me.
Did not.
But Eric,
Yeah.
They believed in taxes.
But Eric,
They did not believe in taxes without representation.
Who's representing you?
What do you mean? The Senate and the representatives?
Yeah, no,
all those people.
that's
Yeah.
my point. Look at the government. Look at all these politicians that are Masons.
Yeah.
They have your best interest in mind.
Well,
No.
whether or not they have
No.
my best
They
interest
don't.
is different. That's
No,
a different.
see, that-
So you're
yes.
saying that it doesn't
But
have
the
anything to do
system
with
is set up that way.
No, it's set up that
The
way.
system is set up to vote for somebody who should have our best interest.
but
Right,
no, but
right.
see, that's why I think that this gets this. That's where
Just
the
a little
conspiracy
foggy.
is, and that's
Yeah.
where it's all about power. It's all about manipulation. Because unfortunately, almost all politicians are pieces of shit.
Yeah,
It's the
true.
truth. It's
It's
the
true.
truth. And there's a great point. And the funny person who made this point was Joe Biden, like 30, 40 years ago when he first got elected to Delaware or Maine Senate. And he literally is on an interview. And there's a little video of him on an interview. And he's like, well, I wouldn't say that I'm not corrupt. He's like, someone's got to pay for the campaign, and then you gotta then you're in their pocket. I'm sending the video. It's ridiculous. I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he's literally in essence is saying, I am now in the pocket of someone who pays. That campaigns are expensive. Right. He can't afford that himself. And no politician can. And no civic servant, public servant to serve the people.
Yep.
How is almost every politician a multimillionaire? How is that? They weren't multimillionaires before they got in politics. How are they now? How?
Well, no, that's
how is that possible? How is that fucking statistically possible? Because it's corrupt, and so therefore,
okay, but
no one knows.
How does that relate to
it? Just means it's money related.
No, it's corrupt.
I know, but it just means
it
just means the upper class is more. No,
how does that relate to the Freemason?
No,
I know,
Sean.
Yeah. Listen,
because you're the one making the point.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
I'm almost done with my rant.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with the upper class against us.
These totally is money.
No,
it's
but listen,
money.
These our elected officials weren't upper class before they became elected officials, and then magically on their
that's a case by case. You're speaking in generalities.
Okay,
that's a case by case.
I would say.
But he's also speaking in majorities.
I don't know.
That's a word.
I would say likely,
the majority.
Who we're talking about.
Likely 80 to 90% of people weren't multimillionaires before becoming politicians.
We would have to see that stat. I don't know.
I promise you it's probably true. I promise you.
I promise you that I'm pretty sure that is true.
Promise. My thing is, it's bullshit. I think that they're using. I think they're using political influence to do things. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if it's sinister. I don't know if it's
meetings.
I don't know if it's world domination. But like they're doing, I think some unsavory shit is happening when you have this many people in positions of power, and you can be, you can be like,
and that's what, that's what sparks all this conspiracy. But I'll give them props. Like it's very secret. They've kept it. They've kept it. They've kept shit secret.
Have you seen any good thing come from a ritual?
Still, I want to go watch.
Not a one good thing. Not even in fucking Black Panther 2. Like Wakanda Forever.
It's out of. It's so out of context. Though. I feel like it's out of context of what a ritual is. I love how political we're getting all of a sudden.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that obviously they have a lot of political power.
I know.
A ritual is a religious or solemn ceremony consisting of a series of actions performed according to a prescribed order, relating to or done as a religious or solemn rite.
Well, it could be anything.
Sounds like it
could be a lot of different things. I know. It could be a tradition.
Sounds super innocent.
No, tradition is different.
I do believe, like, to make the record clear, I do believe that practically the vast majority of Freemasons are probably solid, awesome dudes.
Yeah.
Just like great dudes. Like,
I agree.
Fucking dudes that I would love to agree. Like, you can come to the podcast. We'll have some Coors Light banquet beer. It'll be great.
I agree.
I'm only talking about like the politicians. It's just the politicians. I'm like,
the weird stuffs.
And especially when you get into athletes and chins, they're all sleaze. Like, ugh. This is gross.
So in summary, I think it's a cool group. I don't know what to say.
So basically, in summary, you're at the same spot when we first started.
Yeah, but I didn't know about them.
Okay.
So I don't want to say I'm at the same spot because I did learn a lot and I didn't know about them at all.
Yeah, true.
And so now I actually think it's a pretty cool organization.
I could say I'm at the same spot. I don't know about you, Sean. Like, I don't trust them. I think they're trying to like get together, fucking control us, and fucking all the conspiracies. That's what I believe.
Wow,
I think I'm in a slightly different spot. In the beginning, I was like, they are shady. They're doing some real dark web, black ops shit.
Dark web.
Like, the stuff like
GW's on the fucking dark web.
Like, they're doing weird stuff.
Snake eyes.
And but I think, I do believe that I changed on that. And I agree with Eric. Any organization that is trying to benefit man, I'm trying to be better people, like, you have to give them the benefit of doubt. Like, good for you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you trying to be better people, but I still
Right. I was just about to high five you.
No.
I was gonna be like, we're.
I still believe that the leadership is doing shady. I full 100% believe that the upper echelon leadership of the Freemasons are tied to nefarious things, and they're making shit go in their favor in order to achieve some sort of end goal, whether it be more power, more influence. 100% is happening.
What's
That's
crazy is we don't even know.
happening.
We don't even
100%.
know who that is. That's the crazy part.
okay.
That's part of the conspiracy.
I mean, aside from the celebs.
No, seriously. These are just the 6 presidents that said they were.
Yeah.
And notice how that ends 60 years ago.
It's true.
And then they're like, we're going to stop letting people
true.
know that we're Freemasons.
Yeah.
It's true.
You know, it's
They're
not
like, this is bad for our brand.
This is not the last
is bad
president
for
who was
our
a
bad
Freemason.
branding.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
Bad
super
branding.
bad. So they stopped saying it. Obviously, George Washington was like, yeah, I am. Who's going to say shit to me?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm George Washington. I just made a country. Like, you know, like, do whatever he wants. Like,
I love that.
it's true. He's like, wood teeth.
Yeah.
You fuck off.
I love that. I heard that it's a where people go, like a pilgrimage for Freemasons is to go to his home.
Oh, probably
into
true.
his
really?
tomb and stuff like that.
I'm just saying.
Because he's like an OG Mason.
Before we end off here, George Washington was a badass, bro.
Dude, I love that guy.
Dude, he became a general when he was like 20.
I really love that
That's
guy.
like, I could barely like support my life at 20, like, let alone be a general of an army against the biggest power in the world. Fuck that.
Anyways, we could go on for hours and hours and hours.
All right, we're gonna end. Just stop talking.
We love y'all.
Yeah, we want to hear from you guys too.
And if
so.
you think we're psychos or full of shit, or do you think Eric is full of shit?
Yeah.
Just feel free to comment.
Whatever you do, don't leave a 1-star.
yeah, just find us
That
on
hurts us. That hurts us in our core.
find us on social media.
I'd rather you
reach out,
call me on
send
my
us an
cell phone
email.
and
Right? Yeah.
cuss me out.
Yeah.
Want to hear from you guys.
You don't need to do the 1-star. Nighty night, folks.
Peace.
Hey guys, I wanted to give you an update before getting on to the next episode. We had a couple listeners, really cool listeners, reach out who are Masons. One in particular really helped answer some questions, and we did get some things wrong. And so, sometimes it happens, and we just wanted to be upfront and say these are some of the things that we got wrong in this episode. So that way we get this right and we learn as much as we can. One of the things is Masons do not exclude anyone because of faith or because of race. So I think we made a couple jokes in there about that. Here are a couple of the basic things that are required for you to join. You need to be good moral character and who believe in a supreme being. Now, what supreme being, it doesn't necessarily matter as long as it's a supreme being of some sort. You don't have to be sponsored. You don't have to be related to a Mason. Freemasons don't actively recruit people, and they don't actively ask for people to join. Really, it's about your free will, your own free will, and you asking. You then get interviewed, including meeting family, background checks, criminal history, etc. Sometimes your membership can be denied because of that stuff. So one of the big things that were brought up as something that we were wrong and we joked a lot about was not having alcohol in the lodges. We joked about that quite a bit, but that is something that is not allowed in the lodges. There are some things out there that are not official Masonry. These can be considered clandestine and fake. The 3rd degree is the highest. Whether someone receives the 33rd degree or not, there's no higher degree than the 3rd degree. The 33rd degree Mason is well respected, but it is not higher than the actual 3rd degree Mason. There's no talk allowed about religion or politics. It's a neutral organization that focuses on friendship and social interaction. This is from one of our listeners, and he sent a very personal message about what it means to him to be a Mason, and I thought it was pretty great and worth a read. Each person would have a different answer, so I can only give you my answer. I joined because of the history. I am a huge history buff and wanted to join to be part of something that so many historical figures were a part of. What I found has forever changed my life for the better. Being a Mason is a lifelong journey and commitment. I was welcomed into a group of strangers like I was family, and I am forever grateful to those I now call my brothers. I know that any help I would need is just a phone call away. Pretty great. Anyway, so sometimes we get things wrong, and we just wanted to add some of that info just straight from Freemasons. So we love it. Keep reaching out. Talk to you guys soon. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the show. If you want to reach out to us, please email us at info@theconspiracypodcast.com. You can check us out on Instagram at A Conspiracy Podcast. Also, don't forget to subscribe. You can catch a new podcast almost every week. Just hit the little subscribe button at the top. It's a plus sign. We love show ideas, corrections, hate mail. Thanks a bunch.